I, 32 female, have been with my wife, Emily, 34, for 5 years, and I've been married for 2. My parents have never fully accepted my relationship, though they insist they still love me. They didn't come to our wedding claiming it was too painful for them, but I tried to move past it. Recently, they asked me to plan their 40th anniversary party. I handled everything, including the venue, catering, guest list, and decorations. I spent months making sure it would be a perfect night for them. But last week, when I went over the finer details, my mom casually said, "Of course, Emily won't be coming." I was stunned. I asked what she meant, and my dad said they didn't want any drama and just wanted a traditional family celebration. I told them that I wouldn't be coming if Emily wasn't invited. My mom sighed and said, "We don't want to make people uncomfortable." That broke me. Make people uncomfortable? My wife, who has done nothing but try to be polite to them, isn't welcome at a party that I organised because they're worried about appearances. I told them that if Emily wasn't welcome, neither was their party. I called the venue and cancelled everything. No caterer, no decorations, no celebration. My parents freaked out, saying I was vindictive and punishing them for their boundaries. My extended family is divided. Some say I was right to stand up for Emily, but others think I overreacted and ruined something that wasn't about me. Now my parents aren't speaking to me, and part of me wonders if I did go too far. I wasn't trying to be cruel, I just couldn't justify throwing a party for people who refused to accept my marriage. Am I the idiot for cancelling the event? You would think that after 5 years together they could at least tolerate it enough to let her attend, but apparently they can't. Oh, so they want you to honour their marriage while spitting on yours? Make that make sense. They didn't want drama, but somehow they thought it was fine to drop that disrespectful bombshell after you'd already done all the work. Nah, they want control, not peace. And now they're angry because their little power play backfired. Cry me a damn river. If they can't handle the consequences of their pettiness, that's their problem, not yours. They wanted you to do all the free work of planning their party, but can't even bother to respect you as an adult and a married person. Free. It wasn't about you, but they wanted a whole bunch of work out of you while treating you like crap. Not the idiot, you did the right thing. They aren't speaking to you? Great. Tell them it can stay that way because no one needs their kind of cruelty in their life, especially from people who are supposed to love and support them. By treating your wife with so much disrespect, they are directly disrespecting you too. After 5 years? Really? I'm confused. Your parents refused to attend your wedding because they never fully accepted your wife, but 2 years later, you're planning their 40th anniversary celebration and expecting her to show up for them? Why the heck were you even still speaking to them? You should have gone full no contact when they boycotted your wedding. You need to do better. You are the idiot for not having your wife's back. Your parents suck. I, 32 female, was cooking dinner and feeding the baby when my husband, 33, came home with the toddler after picking him up from childcare and noticed he needed a nappy change. He's a decent modern-day dad who happily changes nappies, so he went to do it as usual. I was finishing loading the dishwasher while still boiling water on the stove and watching the baby in his high chair when my husband called out because the toddler was crying due to severe nappy rash. I hoped he could deal with it, but he seemed to panic and just said he wouldn't stop. I went in and saw him closing a fresh nappy without having cleaned the toddler. I took over. Sure enough, the nappy rash was bad, which is even more reason to clean it properly, and you can lather on the cream for healing. Once done, I went back to cooking dinner while my husband sat on the couch with the toddler. I said I wasn't happy he didn't handle that situation because it worries me if I'm not here. What if I die? What if I went out for a night? How can I trust him to look after the kids if he can't even deal with such a basic task? He then started saying, "Yeah, well, if I was a normal husband, I wouldn't even be home from work yet, and you would have had to do it anyway." Then said something about it being a woman's job. Whilst I was offended by his comments, I said it was irrelevant because we weren't talking about gender roles, we were talking about whether he's capable of caring for the children if I'm not around. He brushed it off completely as not a big deal. I said that I found it horrible that he couldn't see that this was an issue or admit he was wrong. He then said, "What I find horrible is not 5 minutes after coming home, I get yelled at and abused when all I was trying to do was help." Is he right? Am I the idiot for thinking he should have been able to handle the situation, or should I have been more supportive and helped without commenting? Not the idiot. Dude really said, if I was a normal husband I wouldn't even be here, like that was some kind of flex? Sir, what? You weren't yelling at him for needing help, you were concerned that he straight up gave up mid-wipe and was about to leave your toddler marinating in their own disaster. That's a parenting red flag, not a husband getting nagged moment. He doesn't have to be perfect, but bare minimum he should be able to handle basic hygiene without tapping out like it's a UFC match. I'm sorry, OP, but have you ever heard of weaponized incompetence? Essentially, it's a person intentionally performing simple tasks so poorly that someone else will take over and likely never bother asking again. Do you genuinely believe he wasn't aware that he needed to wipe down his child before putting on a fresh diaper? It's made worse by the fact that he seems to be willing to let the child sit in pain rather than provide the needed care. This is awful. I'm so sorry. Also, I'm offended that the husband is using the word helping. I'm helping implies OP should do everything. OP, next time respond, and I'm helping you by making dinner, doing the dishes, and watching the baby. Who's helping more? He isn't helping, he's parenting his child and he's doing his housework, not helping OP with hers. Agreed, it's not help because they are his children, therefore his responsibility as well. Others have said it already, he isn't modern. He pretty much seems to be stuck with old gender roles and doesn't see his children as his responsibility. Not gonna lie, if the "I was a normal husband, I wouldn't even be home yet" line gave me whiplash. Like, sir, do you want a medal for doing the bare minimum and then failing at it? You are not the idiot. Don't take his dumb excuses and gender role BS. Recently, I've had a big fallout with my girlfriend of 4 years, and I don't understand why she's angry. I have this amazing girlfriend we'll call Amy. She's the best girl you'll ever meet. She's kind and understanding and makes the best omelette in the world. She's very poor, though she always has been. She was raised by a single mother, and they struggled all her childhood. I come from the opposite type of style. I know I'm very privileged, but she and I have been friends for years after a chance meeting. She's always been a great girlfriend, and we don't argue often, but when we do, it's about money, not as you would think. She doesn't like it when I spend money on her, and I can't understand it. I would give her nice jewelry, but she always disliked it. Being love-struck, I upgraded and bought her a new car. We had a big argument that time, and she told me that she didn't want me to waste money on her. She'd rather me spend that type of money on something important. But she is important, and I want to spoil her. I learned that she appreciated things more if they were directly given to her. If I brought myself a necklace and didn't like it, she would accept it, so I started buying her things, pretending they were for me and I didn't want them. She would accept, and things were going well. I want to propose soon, but she wants to pay off her debts first, so we have a clean slate to start on. I've known this since the beginning. She works hard to pay them, but she doesn't pay rent or any utilities in my house. I don't let her even if she tries. Last week, with the help of her mother, I paid off her student loans. I thought it would be a nice gift to her, considering it was her birthday, but once everyone left, she blew up on me like never before. I've never seen her so angry. She told me I crossed a line and that she was working hard to pay it off, and I ruined that, and I was a jerk for involving her mom in my schemes. What she really said stuck with me. You can't understand why I'm angry because you've never had to struggle and you've never felt the pride of finally doing something yourself. Even then, I didn't understand why she ended up leaving and she was at her mom's house. I can't understand why I'm losing her. I can't pay the debt, but I don't want to lose her. I just want her to live in comfort and I want to marry her. Now that a few days have passed, I'm getting anxious and I'm starting to feel like a real jerk for invading her privacy. Our whole house is decorated to her taste and it smells like her, but she's not here. Each time I realize that I feel more and more stupid. I've never felt like such a jerk before, even if I don't think I did anything wrong. So am I the idiot for paying off my girlfriend's debt without consulting her? Okay, you are the idiot, but it seems like you genuinely don't know why, so I'll explain. You assume she wants fancy jewelry and a flash car, but guess what? When you grow up poor, that stuff can make you feel uncomfortable and ill at ease. Despite being with her for 4 years, the fact that you cannot see her perspective at all tells me you've done nothing to truly understand her life and her mentality towards money and wealth. And to rope her mum in to help you do it in secret because you knew she'd never accept it, come on, let's be honest, makes it even worse. Now you have her distrusting her only parent because she went behind her back and colluded with you. Not to mention, she's probably had more than a few people hold their monetary or other gifts over her or use them to get what they wanted. It's like when guys won't allow you to pay for dates and feel they're owed something because they paid. At the same time, hyper-independence is a trauma response of always having to work hard for everything in your life and not trusting anyone to help you. Most importantly, it's from learning the hard way and deeply believing that nothing comes for free that she will feel like it's pity or charity or she now owes you. That's why she might struggle with you doing nice things for her. The answer is to apologize and to tell her that you want to understand and then truly listen and be curious about her reasoning. Then tell her that giving her things makes you happy and it's how you like to show you care for her. Ask her if there are things she can simply let you do for her. Stop pretending things are for you and do not lie. That will only break the trust she's slowly building. No idiots here. Wishing you the best. I'm currently pregnant, about 2/3 of the way along, and my husband has been doing this thing every time we go to a doctor's appointment. He'll drive me to the appointment, then when I'm about to get in the car, he drives forward a little, then reverses, then drives forward again. He does this a few times and it always frustrates me. He thinks it's hilarious and says he's just messing with me. I started to get really frustrated. I'm already dealing with the physical and emotional toll of pregnancy, and this feels like him poking fun at me when I'm already tired and stressed. I told him it bothers me, but he just brushed it off and said I'm overreacting and that he's just having fun. We had a big fight about it the other day. I tried to explain how it was making me feel, and he got defensive, saying I needed to lighten up and that it was just a joke. I told him it wasn't funny anymore and it wasn't something I wanted to deal with during my pregnancy. The final straw was when he did it again before a doctor's appointment yesterday, and I was just done. I called my mom to take me instead and told my husband he was banned from all future appointments. Well, now he's furious. He's demanding to be there for the next appointment because it's the one where we'll find out the baby's gender. He says this is a huge moment and I'm being unfair by not letting him come. I told him I need him to respect my boundaries, and this is one of the ways I'm doing that. But he keeps insisting that it's just a silly little thing, and now he's calling me unreasonable for making a big deal out of it. Am I overreacting here? Not the idiot. Don't let him go. Tell him it's a boy. Not really, it's a girl. No, it's a boy. But actually, it's a girl, even though it's really a boy. Then tell him to lighten up because it's a funny but honest question. Has he always been this much of an immature, disrespectful jerk? It's only going to get worse once your baby arrives because he starts having to share you with somebody else, the baby, and isn't getting all your attention anymore. Which is probably what this is about. Already jealous of the baby. This sounds like a test. How far can I push her before she actually sticks up for herself, and how do I get around that? I can see this man doing things to the kid just to scare mom. I'm not going to drop the baby. See, I catch her every time I throw her in the air. She loves it. Oh, holy crap, why does anyone tolerate these men, much less procreate with them? And is the door open? This could cause the door to shut on OP or knock her down, and if she gets knocked down while he's doing this, it could end up hurting OP. And as bad enough as this is with a pregnant woman who may not be able to see her own feet and whose balance is off, it will be worse if he does this when she's holding a newborn or when the kid is a toddler. This guy is not mature enough to be having a kid. My dad ran over, not fully, but still, my mom's foot once doing this exact buffoonery. She was doing something in the back seat, standing with the door open, and he did the start-stop and managed to pinch the side of her foot. Even as a kid, I remember it looking gross for a week or two. Of course, he was annoyed that she was upset over what he saw as an accident. Basically, don't do this stupid crap. My sister, 30 female, and I, 26 female, have usually been pretty close, but during my pregnancy she's been pushing boundaries over the name of my child. My sister gave birth to her son George a few months ago. It was during the time our pregnancies overlapped that she became obsessed with the idea that if I had a girl I should name her Charlotte. Then we'd have a George and a Charlotte. She's obsessed with all things Bridgerton, so that's where her inspiration comes from. That and how she likes classic vintage names. My sister likes older names anyway, and she's been a little opinionated about names I liked in the past. Before either of us was pregnant, I had expressed that a little girl we met had a cute name, Meadow, and she was like, OMG, no, and that's not the kind of name we should ever consider for our future kids. Another time, after our cousin had a baby and named him Dex, I said how much I loved it. Afterward, my sister asked me why I'd lie, and I told her I didn't love the name. Even with stuff like that happening occasionally, she didn't fixate on it. But now? Totally different. At the very start, she told me I should choose a vintage name for a baby like Ethel, Evelyn, or Arthur, Theodore. I told her I wasn't looking for name ideas and wouldn't discuss them with anyone but my husband. Then, when she decided on George for her son, she told me I needed to name my baby Charlotte if she's a girl. She wants me to use Edmund for a boy because of another Bridgerton character. I told her we weren't discussing names. But she kept bringing it up, and then she asked me what I would name my baby, and I said it wasn't something we were talking about until after the baby was here and we were ready to announce. In reality, we're between two girls' names right now, with Lyra slightly winning. I know my sister won't like the name, and I'm not telling her in advance so she can double down even harder on the idea of Charlotte. But all this interference from my sister is making me angry. I've changed the subject, walked away and hung up on her, but it still doesn't stop her. So the other day when she brought it up again, I told her to stop. I don't want to repeat myself anymore, but if she doesn't shut up about the name Charlotte, or what she wants me to name my child, then we'll need some time apart, and I won't answer any calls or go anywhere she is. I told her I mean it, that she's pushing too much when this baby is not hers. She told me I was overreacting and it would be petty to stop talking to her over baby names. I told her it's not about the names themselves, but how she keeps telling me what to name my child. I told her I didn't do this to her. Her response was I was acting like a kid instead of an adult. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She is childish and strangely obsessed about not letting this go as well. Also, imagine years from now when little George, Charlotte and Edmund watch Bridgerton and realise their parents watched this show and thought about what to name their baby names. That was not what I was thinking when I watched Bridgerton. That being said, George and Charlotte are Prince William and Princess Kate's children, not characters from Bridgerton. Personally, I go another route and insist on telling her the baby's name. All the names. Every single name you can come up with on the spot and in the moment. Oh, we decided to name the baby Piano because they sound nice. We changed our mind and now it's going to be Martini because I can't wait to have one after birth. Just be deadly serious and use outrageous names. I 100% agree with this. It will make her brain explode, but I'm here for the petty. You know what I noticed? When you said she asked me why I would lie about loving the name Dex, she didn't even consider you a separate person with your own opinions, ideas, likes and dislikes. It didn't even enter her mind that you would like the name Dex. She doesn't even recognize there could be any truth beyond what she likes. She didn't ask if you lied, she asked why. She auto-assumed she had to be right. It screams self-absorption and a lack of empathy or recognition of others' individuality. I think some distance might be a good idea.